Hey guys, John Link here. So let's talk about the new retirement accounts for children that are going to become available July 4th, 2026, just a few days around the corner here, and see what that looks like and um, what the eventuality or possibilities of these accounts may portend for kids. Okay. So now the accounts are called Trump accounts. The IRS calls them in the IRS code 530A accounts. 530A IRAs for children. And I know a lot of people, just love President Trump. A lot of people just don't love President Trump, right? So you can call them Trump accounts. You can call them 530A accounts. You can call them a refrigerator. It makes no difference what you call them. It's not what you call them that matters. It's what they do that matters. And here is what they do. They're significant. So, what is a Trump account? Well, it's a tax advantage, basically a retirement account for children. So, it was established under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, known as 530A IRAs. And really, the design is to help kids, give them a jump start to help them build long term wealth for themselves. Okay, and be on have an account for themselves. Um, what are they? How do you open one? Who's eligible? The child has to be under 18 years old and have a social security number, and they can open one. You can open one for them. Children born in 2025, 26, 27, or 28 get a $1,000 seed money, one-time contribution from the government. Now they may extend this to future years. I don't really know. Probably will. But the account it's a one-time $1,000, not per year. The account is in the child's name, but the adult would be the custodian until they turn 18. Then it's their account. It's their account. You can go to the IRS website. You can go to trumpaccounts.gov, find the form section, and fill out 4547. Form 4547. Accounts roll out on July 4th, as I said, and you can fill out a form, and that'll become active on July 4th. Now, this is part's really cool. You can also download an app from wherever you get your apps from, and over time, talk to the child about this account and how it's growing, the importance of it for them later on in life. I know maybe a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old might not want to talk about retirement yet, but you can begin to set a good, solid financial foundation for these kids and have conversations with them that are meaningful. So, how much can you put in there? We can put in a total of $5,000 per child per year. Now, it'll probably be indexed for inflation at some point. But right now, you can put in friends, family, parents, grandparents, whatever. $5,000 per year of taxed money. Now, an employer can put in 2,500. Okay, so but the total cannot be more than 5,000. So the friends and family type thing will be taxed money. Employers, if they put money in, look, if I put money in for Audra's son, Luca, if I put 2,500 in, I'm going to write that off. Okay. So that money's never been taxed. The friends and family that put that money in there, that's going to be taxed money, growing tax deferred. So there'll be some of each in there, I think. There's some clarification yet to be done here. But I think it looks like if you have a 401k that has a Roth option and a traditional option, and you have two numbers they're separated because the money's taxed differently. I think that could be what it looks like. Getting a little bit deep in the weeds, but I think it's important to talk about these things at least a little bit. Now, the money is going to be invested in kind of a restricted group of funds initially, low-cost ETFs or mutual funds, predominantly U.S. companies. The funds really can't be touched for the first 18 years during the growth period. Once the child turns 18, it's their money. They can touch it. There'll be penalties involved unless they're going to use it for something like a home purchase or educational expenses and things like that. But it's designed, the design is for long-term growth, for retirement type things. Um, But it's the kids' money at age 18. So that's again the importance of talking to them about this account and how it's growing them, of what it really is designed to be used for as they're growing up and getting older, and helping them with the financial education. So again, I was talking about taxes before. From individuals, that's going to be taxed money going in, growing tax deferred. So the taxed money growing in won't be taxed again. Contributions from other sources, like in my example from me, could be fully taxable. So we'll see how that works out over time. More to follow on that. But here's what the bottom line is and how it looks going forward. Let's talk about that initial $1,000. That is seed money for children born either 25, 6, 7, or 8. We're going to use 8% as a growth rate. So $1,000 growing at 8% for 18 years, that one-time deposit is going to be worth close to $4,000. Okay. And let's say that you find a way to put the 5,000 in per year. We also get 8% on that for 18 years. That future total would be about $187,000. So when you add the nearly 4,000 with the 187 plus, you're going to come up to $190,000, $200,000 at the end of the growth period, age 18, when the kid's 18. That's a lot, right? Almost $200,000 probably would be, because if it's going to be indexed for inflation, you'd be able to put more in. So let's start with the 191, 247, which is those two totals combined. And again, let's grow that for 40 years at 8%. 40 years at 8%. Never touched it. Never touched it. Well, that money then would be worth over $4 million. 191,000, 40 years at 8%. Over $4 million. So what's that worth in today's dollars? Okay, at 2.5% inflation, it'd be worth in today's dollars about $1 million. And you say, well, John, I think inflation is going to run more than 2%, 2.5%. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But even if a person winds up with 500,000 in today's dollars, that's still a lot of money for someone at age 58 years old today, right? So this is the future value we're talking about, over $4 million. And if you think about, if you had $1 million today and we're getting 6% on it as a distribution, that's $60,000 of income, $5,000 a month. Well, that's not nothing, right? And it's just one account. Again, the power of compound interest. One account, the account with $1,000 seed money, $5,000 a year for 18 years, no more funding. At age 58, $4 million. Now, you would assume that given proper financial education, that the child is going to have their own IRA, they're going to have 401ks, they're going to have brokerage account money. So this is just the one account that I kind of look at. This is just me. It's kind of like maybe a Social Security replacement where you don't have to worry about it. You don't need the government. You got your own money that's grown, okay? So this is a long-term play, and it's important. And I think handled correctly can really be a game changer for kids, for people. Just think if you'd had this and you're 58 years old and you had $1 million in today's purchasing power. How cool would that be, right? So open the account, friends, family, relatives, doesn't make any difference. Get that $5,000 in there every year. Watch it grow, help the child learn financially what's going on, and hope for a successful future. Call me if you need me.